Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Pastor Rob with another daily Bible reading insight. Today is day 119 and day 120 of our Read Through the Bible in a Year program. It's our weekend edition. Lot to read. We are finishing up the book of 2 Samuel with chapter 21. We are beginning the book of 1 Kings, chapter 1, and jumping into chapter 22 of the book of Luke, reading the first 38 verses. You also know what that means since this is the weekend edition. It means Sunday is preaching day. Hey, for any of you West Willians, if you're ever getting the itch to preach, we've got a spot for you in the pulpit. Since it is preaching day, that also means it is get your butt into church day. Seriously, stop with the online church. If you are physically able, come on down to West Willow. It is totally different than viewing it in person. All right, let's get into our reading today. A couple of very interesting things. 2 Samuel 21, we are once again, this is so critically important, we're once again reminded of the importance of context. When we read the Bible, we cannot just pull out situations and actions out of the biblical text and just drop them into our modern world without serious thought, without serious discernment. What I'm talking about today is a solution that King David comes up with for the 3-year famine that God causes because of King Saul's attack on the Gibeonites. To make amends to the Gibeonites, King David gives them 7 of King King Saul's sons to be executed. Back then, that was how they handled these situations. Back then, it made sense. Obviously, it wouldn't apply to our world. And let me say it again for the kids in the back row who might not have heard it the first time. You cannot just pull out biblical texts and thoughts and actions and drop them into our world without serious discernment. Stop it. It causes all kinds of problems. Okay. Let's move on to 1 Kings chapter 1, where we find a very old King David. David is given a young, beautiful virgin to keep him warm, which is kind of icky, right? But we're told at the end of verse 4, the king had no sexual relations with her. Okay, happy about that. About this time, one of David's sons, Adonijah, I think that's how you say it, Adonijah, decides he wants to be king. And so he recruits 50 men to run in front of him so he looks important. Well, what is Adonijah's problem? We get the answer in verse 6 where we read, "Now his father, King David, had never disciplined him at any time." Okay, that makes sense. If you read the rest of the chapter, you know that Solomon gets to be king and Adonijah does not. All right, let's finish up with Luke chapter 22. Here's our big finish. We're reading the first 38 verses, and we read the story of the Last Supper. Jesus gathers his disciples in an upper room for one last meal. Of all the things that Jesus says during the Last Supper, right? And we could spend the rest of our lives talking about these things and learning from them and discerning them. Here's what I think is the most important, at least for today. Verse 26 in NLT, I'll throw it up here. "But among you it will be different. Those who are the greatest among you should take the lowest rank, and the leader should be like a servant." My friends, if you want to have a good experience here on earth, and by good experience, I would say one in which you walk with God and you experience God's presence, protection, provision at all times, adopt a servant's attitude. Be willing to serve everyone with no expectations, no calculations, no manipulations. Serve them, listen to me, serve them with exclamation, with celebration, with inspiration, and that will provide you with liberation from the worldly chains that bind us. Amen. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Give me an amen. Getting a little preachy here today. we need to serve everyone with all of our hearts. If we can do that, our lives will be more blessed, more amazing, more incredible than we could ever dream. Amen? Pastor Bob with another Daily Bible Reading Insight. So appreciate those of you who check in on this on a regular basis. It's time to go. See you on Monday.